Hey everybody, I want to talk to you guys about raising kids and also having guns in the house or owning guns. So, how I was raised, my dad had a gun, a loaded gun within arm's reach, any room in the house pretty much. And as growing up in that environment, if the way my dad dispelled any of the mystery or I gotta go look at it while dad's away. He didn't tell me that they were, don't touch this and then just leave it at that. If I ever had questions, he'd take them out, unload them, let me handle them, um, answer any questions I had about them. So it really took all the mystery out of it. I never felt the need to go exploring or look at them when he wasn't there. And I think that's a big part of uh, that gets rid of a lot of the like accidental, the kids are getting into it kind of thing. If it's some sort of taboo thing, uh, then the kids might want to explore on their own if they're not encouraged to ask questions and um, learn from their parents. So how I raise my kids, it really starts by with raise your kids not to be little turds. You got to discipline them and make sure that they behave. Um, I started teaching my kids the 4 rules of gun safety very young. Um, Number 1, treat every firearm as if it's loaded. Number 2, never point a gun at anything you don't want to destroy. Number 3, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. 4, be sure of your target and what is beyond it. So I taught my kids those lessons whenever they were very little. My kids started shooting BB guns and 22s around 4 or 5 years old under supervision with me. And then I take them shooting. And as far as I'm concerned, knowing how to use and maintain a firearm is just like swimming, riding a bike. It's just something that you should know how to do. And my attitude was always, if the kids ever decide, they grow up, move out of the house, which I've got one out of the house so far, if they decide that once they turn 18 or they move out of the house or whatever, they never want to touch a gun again, that's their choice. And if they choose to do that, at least if they come across one or ever have to interact with one, it won't be from a place of ignorance, and they'll be able to handle it, to dispose of it, put it away, lock it up, whatever they have to do, and they'll know how it functions. It's just like if you have never been taught how to drive and then you need to move a vehicle. It's going to be hard. It's probably going to be stressful and scary. Whereas if you've done it before, it's really no big deal, regardless of the make or model. You could probably, if you've been taught how to drive and know how to drive, you can get in a vehicle and, move it to a different parking spot or drive it across town or whatever if you had to do that. Storage. Obviously, you keep it out of the reach of small kids. When kids are too small, you can't reason with them. You ever try to reason with a 2-year-old? It's hard to do. So keep it out of the reach of small children. I keep most of mine in my safe, and other ones are locked up in my bedroom, and nobody needs to go into my room. If the kids have friends over, there's no reason for them to come into my room or go into my room. And if they need something out of there, they come ask me or mom, and we'll get it for them or tell them that they don't need it. That goes into, be careful who you let into your home. If your kids' friends are little devil monkeys, that was kind of my biggest worry as my kids were younger is if they had a friend over and the friend wasn't taught properly, and they, um, if I was in the garage or the shop and they decide to go in my room without asking or go snooping around the house, that was a big concern to me. So luckily, we're pretty much past that, and my kids all seem to have a good head on their shoulders, so they can. And none of their friends are bad kids, so I haven't had any issues with any of that. But I have had issues with bringing people over. I mean, when I was younger, I'd go, I make a friend somewhere and I just bring them over to the house. Well, now that I'm a husband and a father, well, I've been one for quite a while now, but I had to learn a lesson. I brought this one guy over and we hung out for the better part of a summer. And I was working night shift at the airport at the time. And he would come over, and back then I was still doing Warhammer, so we'd put models together, paint or whatever, and hang out all night because I was working night shift, so I was on that schedule, and apparently he was able to had the free time to be able to do that too. And he ended up asking me for a job, and I learned several lessons with this one. I gave him a job, and it was out of town, and it was right when I started my company. So never try out a new hire on an out-of-town job. And that's the first lesson. So anyway, we went out of town, started the job. The job was going horribly right from the beginning. They told me I had a month to do it before I left, and then I get there, and they decide they want it done in 2 weeks, and then 5 minutes later they come back and they want it done in 10 days. So I was on the phone with the shop back in Anchorage trying to get more help down there and everything, and this guy just quits, first day. And I didn't know what I was legally obligated to do. He had driven down there with me, so I just bought him a plane ticket and got him out of my hair. And then the day after that, my house was broken into, and all that they stole was, luckily, was my Xbox and the Nintendo Wii. So I have no proof who did it or whatever. The cops did nothing. And anyway, it really woke me up to just be careful who I have in my home, who I invite into my home to be around my wife and kids. And, that goes for your kids' friends too. So you got to make sure nobody's going to be snooping around your house or anything like that. And yeah, anyway, as far as teaching my kids and whether they want to or not, my oldest daughter, she really fought me on learning it. She didn't want to do guns. She was always really reserved about not wanting to try new things. And that didn't stop me from taking her shooting, and she would kind of just begrudgingly do it. And then there was I took her to a hunter safety course because I had to take one to do a road hunt. So I took her and my wife, she's my oldest. And then they have a shooting event at the Birchwood shooting range once a year, or usually they have it once a year. It's the kids' youth shoot, and it's free to go to. Tickets sell out fast, so once you get onto it, or once you know that the tickets are released, you got to get them sooner than later. Otherwise, it'll sell out. And anyway, they have different booths. They have a machine gun booth, which is very popular, black powder, Western style, so like lever actions and revolvers, like cowboy guns. Whenever I went as a kid, they had high-powered rifles. They have skeet, trap shooting, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very informative for the kids. So I signed her up, and I went, and I just acted as a chaperone. And sometimes it just takes someone else besides dad or besides the husband to explain something or show something to someone to get them to be more open to it. And after I took her to that, she had a good time. She really enjoyed the black powder shooting stuff. All the begrudgingness was gone, and she was able to, she'd go shooting with me and be enthusiastic about it. I mean, she's not as into it as I am, but she was willing to learn and listen, which was nice. And that led to be an example for my other kids who were younger than her. So if there's anything like that in your area, or if you're in the Anchorage or Matsu Valley of Alaska, I would definitely encourage you to go to the Birchwood Youth Shoot. Or if there's anything like that in your area, if you're not in Alaska, if there's any youth shooting day, or any of the ranges have anything like that, I would definitely encourage you to go to those. But I think the other thing is, I think we should start, I don't know why it's not this way anymore, but I think they should teach like hunter safety, gun safety, whatever you want to call it, in K through 12. I mean, if they could teach sex ed pretty much K through 12, then hunter safety, gun safety should be taught as well. And I don't think you should leave it up to the school to teach your kids. I think you should be the first teacher, but extra wouldn't hurt. So those are pretty much my thoughts on raising kids in a house that has, as a gun owner. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and hopefully this was helpful. Talk to you later. Bye.